Today, I am giving our 2015 Subaru Outback Limited a serious upgrade. And by upgrade, I am talking about the lights. We're gonna be getting rid of these terrible halogen bulbs and swapping them for some LEDs, which will match this surround LED quite nicely. So you're probably wondering, what brand did we go with? Well, we're really lucky that we had Oxilam send us some LEDs to try out for free. So we're gonna let you know our opinion of them, how the install goes, and cover all the things so you know if they're the best budget light bulb LED out there. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna unbox to show you kind of what comes in the box. So why don't we do that right now? So we're pretty excited by these. We've been really wanting to upgrade our Subaru for a while now, and we just didn't know which brand to go with. And so when Oxilam came to us and they wanted us to do a video for them, we were pretty excited to get to try these. So I'm hoping that they work out really well and they really upgrade the Subaru quite a lot. It's kind of a weird thing to have a Subaru Outback Limited that doesn't have full LEDs. They have the LED surround, but not the actual headlight itself. So it kind of gives you kind of like that two-tone look, but it's not in a good way. But let's see here. So as you can see, we got these. These ones specifically are the low beams. We also have the high beam box as well. So as you can see here, it's a pretty nice little box that comes nicely packaged. This little box will fit inside this one. But we have a nice product manual, which I'm sure we'll be using. It comes with gloves so that you don't end up touching that LED chip because you don't want to damage it. And then here are the bulbs themselves. Those look pretty nice. They are, from what they told me, is that they are a little bit larger than your typical halogen bulb. So if you have dust covers or things like that that are a little bit tight fitting, these will probably not fit. But you can always contact one of the representatives to find out if it will be able to fit your vehicle and get direct measurements from their website. But now that we got this unboxed, let's do the other one, and then we'll move on to actually installing the light bulbs.
According to Oxilam's website, they promise a lifespan of about 50,000 hours, which is significantly longer than your standard halogens. The bulbs are rated at 65,000 for that crisp, cool white light that should give our Subaru a modern look and definitely an upgrade. Plus, the LEDs provide 12,000 lumens per pair, which should be plenty of brightness for those nighttime drives.
Now that we've covered all the intricacy specs about the light bulbs we're going to install, let's go pop this hood so that we can get to the install. Here's one of my favorite features on the Outback. Hood struts. I know, something so simple, but a lot of trucks don't come with them anymore. Good job, Subaru. If this is your first time, you are going to want to make sure that you know which ones are high beams and low beams. And so my recommendation would be to turn it on, mark which ones are your high beams and low beams. It's usually pretty obvious, but I'll do that right now just so that we know we're installing the correct bulb in the right place. So I'm going to turn on the lights. So these are the lows, and the Subaru's going to make a really angry noise at me. And then we're going to do the highs. This right here is your low beam, and this bulb on the inside is your high beam. Make sure to install appropriately. I am going to show you the install on the passenger side of the car. And from what you can see here, if you look down below, there is ample room for us to have that extra bigger boot. Now this is what they're talking about. I'll show you the original LED lights here in a second. For these first lights here, I am going to be starting with the low beam. If you remember, that's this outside light here. So I'm going to twist easily counterclockwise, and my bulb comes out really easily. So the next step is to get it off of the boot here. And so if I'm careful, squeeze, and it comes right off. Super easy and slick. So now I am going to grab that bulb, but first we got to put on some protection. Here's my halogen. This is one that we replaced previously on the channel just with the halogen to show you how easy replacing Subaru lights are. But look at the size difference. So this is where we're hoping that the extra space, let's see if I can get a better angle for you. See how much bigger that is? You know, size isn't everything, but this has an internal fan to keep it cooler. And so you are getting quite a larger bulb. So you are going to need space. So let's see if this actually fits. These should be easy plug and play, which I'm expecting that they will be. So I'm going to put my arm in here. Be careful not to touch the LG chip. Did they go that way? Goes that way. First don't succeed, try again. So there it goes. Now it should just be replacing it and putting it in the other direction. Okay, that bulb is a lot bigger than our previous bulb. So you just twist it and turn it and put it in the way it came in. Let's move on. Since we're on this side, let's move on to the high beam. And then we can get a comparison between the old light and the new light before it gets dark, because right now it's sunny outside. And we will show you a full comparison at the end between what it looked like with halogens and what it looks like without the halogens. So again, I am going to remove now the high beam, which is located here. Make sure you guys can see that. This is where the halogen is located. And so it's just going to be another twist counterclockwise. And I've pulled the light out, and now I just need to release it from the boot, which is this clip right here. If you squeeze down, this one has not been replaced before, so it's probably going to fight me just a tiny bit.
A few minutes later.
It wouldn't be a Legendary Trails install if the thing didn't fight me just a little bit. Okay, I got it. So here again is your high beam. We're just gonna plug and play this little guy to get him where he goes. Smooth like butter. Now, as long as I don't screw up putting this part in, we'll be good. Shouldn't take too long. And look at that. It's so plug and play, that's easy. Start on the halogen side, and then I will show you the LED side. This is the halogen side of the Subaru. As you can see, we have that LED light here, but not there. So we are going to go and then look at these other ones. And look at that LED light. That just matches so much better. This color here is just a lot better. Is with the bright lights with it. Look at that. That is just such a difference. Let's go back to the other side. As you can see, icky yellow with a little bit of that surround. And then you can see them here. Now I am noticing on this side specifically, you can hear the little fans running. So keep that in mind, that it is going to be a little bit noisy, apparently. I don't know if you can hear that. Maybe if I lean in. But you can hear the little fans running. Let's go to the other side and I can show you that that doesn't make that noise. Yeah, so these don't make any noise. So keep that in mind, that these are going to have a noise level to them, which I wasn't expecting. Interesting development. So I had the high beams on and low beams on. We had that fan noise. So the fan noise is only heard when you put on high beams. And it's probably because you don't use high beams very much and they probably need a lot more cooling power and whatnot. So that's probably what that is. When it's just the low beams, no sound is being emanated. Just in case you're wondering, I did look into that a little bit and play with it, and it is just when the high beam is on. So for the record, installing on the other side without filming and trying to explain what I'm doing took me less than 2 minutes to do the entire low and high beam. So if you're worried that this is something that's going to take you a long time to do, don't, because these are so plug and play. I'm honestly impressed at how easily they fit into the Subaru. I'm really hoping that they impress me when we get this thing out tonight after it gets dark. So stay tuned and we will be right back with you.
So first we're going to start with showing you what the halogens look like. For reference, we're going to use the garage door. Here are the low beams, and then we'll show the high beams now. As you can see, there is a very distinct line and the garage door isn't that illuminated. But let's show it from the outside as the Subaru backs up. As you can see, the driveway space is illuminated pretty well overall. Overall, the illumination of this area isn't too bad. But we'll stop at the end of the driveway to see if it reaches the garage appropriately. As you can see, we're still illuminating that space pretty well. But let's see how it does on the open road. As you can see here, it's kind of harder to see with the halogen lights. And honestly, part of this because the GoPro doesn't really record really well at night. But still, overall, the illumination is fine for driving, but it doesn't give you very much clarity as you drive. Now with that covered, let's take a look at what happens when you put the LEDs on. To be fair to the halogens, we'll be stopping in the same areas and showing you the result. As you can see, these lights already look better, but let's look at the garage door. As you can see, it has the same level of range on the low beams, but the color is a lot crisper. When you go to the high beams, it's about the same, but what is it going to look like when we back out of the driveway? As you can see, it is a lot brighter in the surrounding area where the lights are pointed, but what does it look like from the inside? The LEDs appear to give up a lot more light, and when you turn on the brights, everything is in view, including our shed to the side, which was hard to see in the other clip. Now let's take this show on the road and see what it looks like out in the countryside. So this is the same stretch of road, and here is the low beam. As you can see, you get a lot more clarity, but when you put that high beam on, it's really like you can see everything. Those extra lumens are definitely helping on this dark country road. Now let's look at them both from the outside, so if we get some perspective on what is actually happening here. So honestly, I think this is the best comparison between the light. As you can see, the Oxilam lights are so much brighter than the halogen. They just illuminate the space so much better. The halogens just don't seem to hold up as well as the LEDs at night. But what would you pick? Comment down below.
After taking this vehicle outside, it is honestly, the light difference is impressive. The Subaru halogens do well, and any halogen does well enough if that's what you need and that's in your price point. But if you have a little bit more money to spend, I highly recommend upgrading to these LEDs. They're not too expensive. At the time of filming, they were running around less than $120 for all of the light bulbs that were in this video. So honestly, like if you're looking for a cheap LED upgrade that's budget friendly and performs as well as the other competitors, I would say Oxilam is worth your time and worth your money. So far, so good. We'll drive it for a few more days, and if anything changes, we'll be sure to let you know. But for now, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.